My name is Dr. Ann Banga, and I'm originally from Canada. I studied at the University of Edinburgh, where I did a PhD in clinical psychology, and that's how the company was born. It was born out of my PhD. So we started off as a mental health research platform, and then expanded into utilizing AI or AI for screening and diagnostics of mental health. And this led us to the current drug challenge. And so we kind of expanded the scope of our screening AI to tackle drug overdose. And so our product is called Saving SAM, which stands for System for Alert and Monitoring. And basically the system involves a low-cost wearable, wrist-worn wearable, which monitors a variety of biomarkers from the wrist. And in the event that an individual is at risk of an overdose, that screening algorithm then sends an alert through to the Saving SAM app on the phone via Bluetooth sensor, and alerts the individual that this has happened. And if they don't respond and cancel their, and if they don't cancel the response, then a message is sent out to an emergency contact to alert them that this person might be in danger and to try to check in with them. And it provides them with their GPS location so that they're able to call 999 if the situation requires it. So we designed a system to try to intervene in the event of this high-risk situation. But in addition to that, we also designed what we called a proactive reaction to the larger issue, which was to provide digital mental health interventions which also include recovery and harm reduction content that individuals can engage with in the app. The program is primarily audio-based exercises, and as part of the exercises, individuals provide a voice note response to what they just did, and we put that through another series of screening algorithms, which looks at digital vocal biomarkers that are indicative of mental health issues, and so that we can screen for whether or not their mental health is potentially deteriorating. And so if we've detected that their mental health is deteriorating, then that same kind of support contact receives a nudge to prompt them to reach out and provide some support to the individual. And hopefully that can prevent the high-risk situation from occurring entirely. So we're kind of looking at it as more of an early intervention solution as well. And I think that's the basics. We had delved into wearables a little bit in the past, but this was a whole different ballgame. Also, this was a new foray into kind of the addiction space. I started off my career, my first real job as an undergraduate was at a community center for harm reduction. So I feel like it's come full circle. And it's amazing to me that, in all this time that so little progress has been made, I guess. we look at all of this wonderful, technological marvels that are applied to physical health problems, and it's just not the same in this area. So I had not previously kind of seriously considered applying digital mental health to more serious problems. But with this project, it's kind of gotten me on board, that thinking. So yeah, we would not have gone down this direction as a company had this challenge not arisen, because we previously were not in the space. But when the opportunity arose, it was something that I had seen early on in my career, and so I said, well, let's do it. I probably have a different, take on this than some people, simply because I do have such an extensive history working with people with really challenging mental health problems. I worked in schizophrenia for a long time. If you look at the homeless population, probably at somewhere between 65 to 80% of people that are homeless do have schizophrenia. And so I probably have a different understanding of that than the average person. And so in coming to it, you know, I think it's very easy for technologists and data scientists and software engineers. They love to design products and solutions, and you know that was actually a big advantage of our team, of kind of reality checking. Well, that is not necessarily going to work for this group of people. So yeah, the feedback was, and the engagement was really critical to challenging some of the assumptions that we made as we designed the product. This has all come full circle, because my first real job back when I was an undergraduate was at a community harm reduction service. And there I saw individuals with comorbid mental health problems and substance use difficulties. And I saw individuals get mental health treatment, housing, a whole range of supports. And the only reason that they were receiving those supports was because they were diagnosed with hepatitis C. And so if they didn't have a communicable disease, they wouldn't have received any of that help. And that taught me a lesson about the stigma issue very early on in my career. We only invested the resources to get them back on their feet because of this other diagnosis. And that has always stayed with me. The feedback from the lived experience panels really helped us to challenge some of the assumptions that we made while we were designing the product. A really good example was the utilization of GPS data, okay? So there's a lot of sensitivity around the use of GPS data, particularly if you're dealing with illegal substances, right? But when explained that in the event that there is an emergency, this could be the difference between saving your life or not. We talked through that issue, and the vast majority of people there, said, as long as it's explained very, very clearly in the onboarding process that this will only be shared in the event of an emergency, the balance between privacy and data sharing, that's something that we can accept. And so, that's one example. Another example is the fact that you know, with feedback from usability testing, from people that are in longer term recovery, you know, we've stepped back a little bit and said, okay, well, maybe the, you know, first part of the product, the reactive response, maybe that's critical for when people are actively using drugs and maybe at a more chaotic time in their lives. And maybe the second part of the solution, the proactive, more early intervention response, maybe that is more appropriate once they're a little bit more stabilized. So it doesn't mean that we have to cut the product in two. It just broadens the scope of the applicability of it to people at different stages. But also seeing that it has value at different stages because you know, people can still be at a risk of relapse. And so it doesn't negate the first part. And I'm happy to actually include, you know, a little bit of the way forward, not just, you know, responding to the immediate situation. In 3 to 5 years, I would hope that we would be able to roll out Saving Sam here in Scotland. And equally, I could see this being deployed in Canada as well. I'm from Canada, and the drug overdose crisis there is also, you know, tremendously vast. And so, but there's different, you know, challenges based on the different types of drugs being used. So, you know, with the fentanyl crisis, that's a little bit of a different challenge. I think that we do have kind of enough product differentiation due to the fact that we're including kind of all of these extras that that'll enable us to kind of move this forward because I feel that we're addressing a lot of the, you know, there's comparable systems, but we're addressing a lot of the shortcomings of those. So the, you know, there's certain issues that have been brought up, like needing to have a smartphone, for example. But I attended the parliament, or there was a parliamentary event with the Digital Lifelines, and they had a program, you know, where they gave people smartphones, and you know, other than a couple people, you know, lost them or whatever, they had a very successful pilot program, and so that was again making assumptions about people based on stigma, and they had a very successful program. So I think that we could do the same thing.